Hi, I'm Gabe Eisenberg alongside Matt Torzone and Seth Bender. And this is PTI. Today's topic, who won the NFL draft? Matt, let's get into this with you.
I think a couple good teams had some drafts. Obviously you got the two best teams who did win the draft, though. You have the Eagles and Seahawks. I think that's pretty unanimous. I think the Eagles won the draft, though. They had a lot of really good picks. And I think just the first round just beat everything. I mean, Jalen Carter was an absolute steal at 9. The Eagles are going to be terrifying next year.
Yeah, I mean they made some good picks, but I think the Seahawks they completely filled their hole in defense. I mean they got another corner, so now they got last year they had an amazing draft. They got Tariq Woolen, star corner. Now they got Devon Witherspoon, who's probably going to be a stud. So now they got 2 solid corners, and then with the 20th pick, they got Jackson Smith, and he is really good. They added third amazing wide receiver, and now, I mean, they're pretty stacked there.
Well, I mean, if you look at the Eagles. I mean, Jalen Carter. Forget off the field issues. He is the best player in the draft based off of raw talent. I mean, Jalen Carter is an absolute stud. He's going to be an immediate impact when he gets to the NFL. When he plays on that defensive line, alongside Fletcher Cox and other guys on the Eagles defense. And then you look at Nolan Smith, who is probably also the best edge rusher in the draft. So the Eagles got 2 absolute studs. That, in my opinion, the best player in the draft and probably the best edge rusher. So that's just going to be terrifying. And they're 2 young players. All they're going to do is develop. There's great veterans on the Eagles, great coaching that can help them develop more as players, and even with some of those off-the-field issues.
Let's look at some of the quarterbacks, too. I mean, they have the quarterbacks to win the draft. I think Will Levis going late, that was probably smart. I mean, I think there was a lot of better quarterbacks over him, and picking the Texans trading up, being aggressive there, you could argue that they won the draft too, getting their quarterback finally and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think teams like the Colts, the Texans, the Panthers getting quarterbacks is huge. I do think the Chicago Bears definitely won the trade with the Panthers. I think the Bears just got a huge haul. And I think the Panthers did get their franchise guy. I think Bryce Young could definitely be the answer. But I think the Bears won that trade. And then you go and look at the Texans. The Texans had a fantastic draft as well. I think getting C.J. Stroud might be better than Bryce Young. And then if you also look at Will Anderson, who they traded up for a couple picks, I think they did. I think it took them a lot to trade up. But I think for the type of player Will Anderson is, I think it was totally worth it. And then the Colts, who are actually, they have a really good roster. All they need, they've had that one missing piece, which is the quarterback, and I think they got it with Anthony Richardson.
All right, well, there are some questions about these teams' drafts. Like the Eagles, will Nolan Smith's off-field issues, Jalen Carter's off-field issues, be too much of a risk? Will that end up impacting his career and inevitably be a wasted pick? And for the Seahawks, was the Jackson Smith and Jigba pick right when they already had 2 elite receivers? Was it a waste of a pick to pick a third receiver?
I mean,
so I think getting JSN, I was probably a smart idea. I mean, Tyler Lockett, he's still got a little bit left in his career, but they won't have him forever. And just adding another receiver, I mean, they already got good running game. They didn't need another running back, which they got later on. They got their second running back, so they didn't need a top running back there. And I think getting him now, I mean, it makes an amazing wide receiver core basically unstoppable.
I think the Seahawks definitely did a great job. I think Zach Charbonnet was a decent little pick in the second round, probably a waste of a pick, but Floyd Tuialusagan, the center out of Michigan, later in the draft was a fantastic pick, and I think that was great. And then I don't think the Jalen Carter pick will end up affecting the Eagles. I think it'll just be a helpful pick, and he's going to be a great player.
That's all for now. This is PTI on the SBC Network. We're back tomorrow with more.